Okay, hi. I went to the farmer's market yesterday. I'm gonna show you some of the things that I will be eating this week. Just like giving y'all a general sense of things that you can do with your farmer's market produce, how you can help stretch it out for as long as possible. I'll show you everything I picked up yesterday and how much I paid for it. Just keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is organic and local, so I recognize not everybody is able to do so. I'm gonna stop talking and just show you what I picked up. First things first, I buy leeks all the time. They're so good. People ask me what I use them for. I will usually slice off the bottom and I will slice it into rings. Just make sure you clean them really well because there tends to get a little bit of dirt in between like the layers. I use the tops as well and they're really good just like sauteed, stir-fried. And this bunch cost I think like $4. I don't remember the exact price for everything, but I do remember the total price, so I will try my best to be as accurate as possible. I also picked up a bunch of sunchokes. Here they are. So sunchokes are actually the root of a sunflower, so they taste really like nutty, a little bit sweet. What I'll do is I'll like chop them into little chunks. I'll put the cut side down on the sheet pan and roast it at like 375 for like 30 to 35 minutes until the bottom is nice and caramelized and the inside is like nice and gooey and really delicious. If I do some sort of like bowl, macro bowl where I put like rice as the base and tofu and roasted veggies, this is probably something that I would use for that. And these were definitely on the pricier side. For the amount that I got, I think it's probably around double this. They were $5, but they're definitely a splurge, and it's the first time I've seen them this season, so I had to go all out for them. I also just got a classic sweet potatoes. I feel like they're a lot more versatile and also they're nicer to eat as leftovers. I find that with regular potatoes, the day after I roast them, they get a little bit gritty on the inside and they don't reheat very well. So I will use these, I'll roast them, I'll saute them in a hash, I'll bake them into rounds. I have one other sweet potato, so it's 3 in total, but I think, yeah, probably $4 or $5. Another thing I splurged on are mushrooms. Got a ½ pound of cremini mushrooms and a ¼ pound of shiitake mushrooms. And for this whole bag, so essentially 3/4 of a pound, it was $8. I got 4 of these Golden Delicious apples, and together I think it was around $4 as well. I found grape tomatoes at the market, and it's the first time I'm seeing tomatoes this season, so I had to pick them up. It was $4 for these, so I'm definitely gonna be savoring them as much as possible. Also picked up a loaf of bread. It's a miche loaf from Bread Alone. I'm not gonna fully pull it out, but as like my bread saving hack, I will cut bread into individual slices and I will put it in the freezer. That way, whenever I want some bread, I can just go in the freezer and pull out a couple slices rather than having to pull out an entire loaf and wait for it to defrost. And I will have it as lunch toast, either topped with hummus or avocado or tahini, or I can have it for breakfast with peanut butter and apple slices. And I love Bread Alone. All their stuff is really good and they're organic as well. And this loaf cost $5. Last but not least, I got these. It seemed like it was related to the broccoli rabe family, but it was like, there's this red Russian kale rabe almost, and then there was one that was green. I guess it's like more of a kale situation, but these look so good. I love all the different textures. So when I saw them, I had to buy some. And for storage, I will store it in a glass container with a napkin, which helps absorb some of the excess moisture, and then seal it. And for this, I probably will saute it. And for this very small amount, it was $8. But I didn't get to go to the market last week, so seeing all the new produce, I really was invited to splurge. But I will definitely be savoring all of this. All in all, for all of these groceries, plus extra, this isn't everything, but these are all the different things that I did purchase. It ended up costing me $45, and I might run to the store and get a couple things, but yeah, for the most part, this is all the produce that I will be eating this week. let's give it a taste test. Pretty good. It's not particularly cheesy, not in a bad way. It tastes a little bit mustardy actually. Let me see what the ingredients are. Pumpkin, cashews, apple cider vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, nutritional yeast, organic Dijon mustard, sea salt, tomato paste, garlic powder, onion powder, turmeric powder. It tastes pretty good on this pasta, so I will definitely keep eating it. Apologies for the lighting situation. I have some challah bread that my mom very graciously sent to me in the mail, and I topped this with some hummus, radish slices from the farmer's market, tomato slices from the farmer's market, salt and pepper, and a little bit of olive oil from Brightland. I don't always buy hummus. I do every so often when I'm in a pinch, and this is just left over from last week. I didn't really get to do groceries. Bon appetit. Tonight I'm preparing for dinner pizza because I picked up some tomato sauce and we have a bunch of flour at home and some yeast. I've prepared the dough. Unfortunately, I did not get shots of myself making it, but it's a really simple recipe. It's just flour, active dry yeast, water, salt, sugar, and a little bit of olive oil. I also always add a little bit of dried rosemary into my pizza dough. I feel like it adds a little something special. It's gonna need to sit for like an hour. We'll probably saute up a bunch of veggies, and I'll show you all what the finished product looks like. We are gonna be making 2 pizzas tonight. The first one is gonna be topped with tomato sauce, soy chorizo, mushrooms, and some radish greens from the farmer's market from last week. The mushrooms are also from the farmer's market. And then the other pizza we're making is going to have sun-dried tomatoes, caramelized onions, the broccoli rabe type of thing that I have, and then white beans on top. Wow, that's really freaking good. Time for the taste test. That was real good. Okay, I know this is not the greatest angle, but we're gonna work with it. I'm just trying this out. Tofu scramble can be a little frustrating sometimes if you don't have a good pan. And honestly, I'm in love with the Material Kitchen pan, which Material recently gifted to me, and it's honestly like a complete game changer, especially with tofu, which like is just like sticks to pans really easily unless you have a ton of oil that you're using. If you are looking for a new pan, I highly recommend the Material one. Plus they are women of color owned. It's a small business. Now I will try this out. That's really good. That is very good. It feels like I'm eating a garden breakfast, like a breakfast that was grown in a local garden. This is really delicious and I highly recommend.